Gameydaddy.
Hello everyone, this is Emmond with gameydaddy and I'm here with another video from Tom Clancy's The Division. Today I'm here to bring you my overview, kind of a tutorial on how I build for DPS in legendary missions using Sentry's Call. So pretty much the art of Sentry's Call is it's not only a DPS build, but I'm going to make a case that it's a support build as well, and it's just better than what you imagine it could be. Now a lot of people are probably throwing this gear set away. I've caught one of my buddies saying, I've been throwing Sentry's Call away, and I was like, have you tried it out again to see if it's actually good? And he said no. So we talked about it, and he's going to start keeping them to try it out. Now I have been keeping mine, and for some reason I don't know why. So one day I was trying to go play a mission. Somebody said, hey, get your gear together, let's go. I threw on 4 sentries. I think I threw on a nimble holster, or I think I threw on 2 nomads, because the nomad had the mask, had the enemy armor damage to elites, yada yada. Threw it together, went into the battle. The moment I pulled out my marksman rifle, landed a headshot, boom, it registered like 600k. I was like, now that registered 422, but that's not a critical hit. Let's put on some pulse. I don't know what happened, but it registered like 600,000. I mean, it was ridiculous. When I saw it, I was like, wait, did my gear set just hit for over 500,000? Now everybody wants the big huge DPS numbers. Oh yeah, I got 1 million on my headshot. You can get 1 million on your headshot. You can use the Skull MC gloves and you can get 1 million easily if you have one of those. You roll marksman rifle damage, you have high headshot damage and all that good stuff. Look, yeah, it hit it. Almost 585 was what it hit for that headshot just now. So yeah, it hit about 600,000 or so. Now that's with even a low skill power. That's skill power low to the ground, low to the ground. Don't even have that specialized to take it up another 20,000 if possible. So what am I doing here? I'm running 4-piece Sentry, I'm running 2-piece Nomad. The reason is because Sentry's Call is probably one of the better marksman rifle gear sets that is in this game. Now the Skull's gloves actually out DPS's Sentries, but you can make a case that Sentry's Call beats the Skull gloves. And let me tell you why. The 2-piece bonus is pretty much the perk that makes it better. That 30% accuracy, I don't know about you, but when I'm playing, I feel the difference. Now, this is my alternate, this is one of my other characters, and you know, I play legendary just to get the exotics. That's what I want to get. I just want to get the exotics. It's like, ooh, shiny. That's all. So I have gear sets that are good to go when it comes to DPS. I haven't invested much time in doing electronic builds because what I've noticed is the way the legendary missions work, there are specific areas where you get close combat and it's more like shotgunners coming at you. The rest of it, you can play from distance. So in my opinion, I'm just gonna go for the simpler and better way to do the missions as quickly as possible, which is going for DPS. Now, in the case of the incursions, that's a whole different case. The game is now moving us to a place where you actually need to play a role. Even in the legendary missions, you have to play a role as well. Don't get me wrong, but that role is DPS. It's not like back in the day when you could spec for any kind of gear that you wanted. You could spec for balanced firearms, balanced stamina, and enough electronics to get your overheal. Now, that's very difficult to achieve just using, you know, the regular skill power and electronics that you could do or whatever. Now it's possible, don't get me wrong, but it's not as good as it was before. Skill power is taking a little different direction where you have to really spec into it to be able to get its full benefits and all that good stuff. All right, so this 2-piece bonus is very good. The 10%, you know, headshot damage is a good plus, no doubt. Now, if you're on console, and you know, marksman rifles are different to use on consoles than they are on PC. I noticed my accuracy is actually way better when I'm, you know, on PC because I use a mouse and it's just better than, you know, let me just say better. I'll say it's more accurate because you don't have to control too much camera and everything. Whereas on a controller, you know, that's where your skills are really tested. And I play on PlayStation 4 too, so I know the challenge is like crazy, especially for someone like me who's not really even good. And so what I would do in a situation like that is I'll consider ditching one, you know, and changing it to something else, maybe a high end, maybe an exotic Barrett's chest piece, a nimble holster, or whatever. But the health on kill for me is actually very, very important because I want to get that kill. So I got 4% extra health on kill. This chest piece I need to re-roll. I need to move this to enemy armor damage because it's Sentry's call, and I want the enemy armor damage. I miss it so much. Did you guys know, if you're new, back in 1.3, Sentry's call used to have, for its, I can't remember, it's 2 or 3 piece bonus, used to be about 20% damage to elites. Crazy. Like, if you whack one of these NPCs elites, you can get up, people used to get up to, just in a regular incursion with good pulse and everything, you could stack up and hit like 2 million headshots straight up, you know. But now that's, you know, something you have to actually, you know, take your time and use all this tactical advance. And now they even remove Provident from the game, so you can't even get that, you know, easily. It's possible, but not something you can do just easily. Ammo capacity, very nice quality of life thing there. I don't usually feel the need to get to reload. Enemy armor damage, damage to elites. This is a PvE DPS build, so I'm not holding back on my damage. I have enemy armor damage here and damage to elites. I could get crit damage, but I took the enemy armor damage because, you know, I have it on other gear items too. So it's this is what we call opportunity cost. If you're speccing your gear and you find out that you have one stat that is showing up on all your gear items, then the natural progression is to pick that stat on another item, because it will benefit, because it will stack up, except it's got a cap, like protection from elites I think has a 25% cap. But if it's something that you can stack as much as possible, then go ahead and stack that. Okay, so I'm already getting the enemy armor damage on my gear, so I'm going on that theme. My backpack though has critical hit damage. Now what I could do in converse is roll critical hit damage on this side, but I'm not gonna do that because enemy armor damage is pretty cool. I like it. Okay, so if I was gonna build like a Firecrest build, like if I'm gonna, like, I'm gonna try this for my PvP last stand gear, and I'm gonna be the protector of the fort with a big flaming turret to burn anything that comes close. Yes, and I'm gonna roll exotic damage resilience everywhere as much as I can because I want to mitigate the seekers. I played a little bit of last stand. Yeah, by the way, I didn't put the gameplay up, but I saved it just as evidence. Anyways, back to where we were going. My holster, skill haste, I could roll that for health, get a little bit of toughness, all that good stuff. Now, why Sentry Skull is pretty good. If you shoot a target in the head, you mark them. The 4-piece bonus says headshots using a semi-automatic weapon mark the enemy, increasing the damage inflicted on a target by 5% for a duration of 30 seconds each. A target can receive up to 3 marks. So for 30 whole seconds, a target can be carrying a potential 15% extra damage upon everything that I'm doing. So let's hit a target 3 times. It used to work before. I don't know if it's gonna work. So mark 1, mark 2, mark 3. My damage just increased. My damage increased and stopped at 512,000. I don't have prepared here. 422, 442. 460 something, 488, and 512 based on everything that I'm doing. So in a progression, my damage increases. Now let me mark them 3 times and pulse and see if I can get more crit. Though 512, they're still carrying that mark, so they're receiving 512 damage. So 512, they still have the mark. 30 seconds hasn't expired. Oh my goodness, I have to wait for it to cool down. Let's see if it's cooled down on this one. 512 still hasn't cooled down. So you see how long they're carrying the potential for extra damage. So if I land them 2 headshots after this, I just achieved 1 million plus other things. Now everybody wants the one shot 1 million build, but this is not the video for it. This is a video that shows you the process of getting there. Okay, so what am I doing on my Marksman rifle? I have an M700 carbon, 154% headshot damage, could be better. Have destructive, brutal, and elevated. I could only get these on here. It came with destructive and some random talent, and I got brutal for it. Now I don't want to spend too much Phoenix credits rolling it because honestly I could get a better one, because this headshot damage is really low. Look here, I have, oh, this is even low too. Gross. This one's got ferocious, deadly, and elevated. I should just throw this one away. The base damage is even lower than this one here. Now other things that I can do, if you don't have an M700 carbon, if you have an M700 carbon that's not the greatest, you could roll marksman rifle damage on your pair of gloves, and this is going to bring you to a nice extra, almost extra 5,000 flat damage that you're getting. This also has assault rifle damage because my assault rifle is my secondary weapon with destructive, deadly, and determined. Now deadly needs to go. Probably need to get responsive here, even though I don't usually play 10 meters close to these guys, but when shotgunners rush me, they need the extra damage to be able to put them down and all that good stuff. Now let's see if this is cooled down for the headshots, and I'm gonna hit 3 headshots. 442, 464, 488 pulse. Let me see if I can get a 532, 538. I don't get any crits. No crits. Oh, sad day. But whatever. If I'm hitting a 538 and you were to factor in destructive, or if I was 1.2 meters above ground, it increases my damage by an extra 10%. If you were to put all these things together and how they add up, and you add my my possible headshot damage that I'm getting, I have a lot of headshot damage. My scope, my muzzle, my grip has critical hit damage, which pairs nicely with the critical hit damage on my backpack as well. So this is pretty much what I'm looking at when I'm playing with Sentry's Call. And also the reason why I feel like Sentry's Call is one of the better marksman rifle builds is I'm not the only one shooting the NPCs, and I didn't say that. I should have said that earlier on. If I mark them twice, somebody else can take them down. There is no problem. We're working together on a team. So this is a team inspired DPS build that does a wonderful job. So I'm positioned somewhere, I shoot the enemy once, the enemy is hiding, somebody else that's on my team can finish the work and do as much damage as possible, even more. So my goal is to not just dish out DPS. My role is to actually open the floor for my teammates to do more DPS than they usually can, or than the situation allows them to do. This is remarkable for a gear set. This is one gear set that I feel like its design is one of the best in this game. Now it used to be overpowered in 1.3, I mean 20% damage to elites. In fact, before the 4-piece damage, let me tell you what the 4-piece bonus was. Headshots headshots will mark an NPC to receive 15% damage. So if you hit somebody with an SMG back in the day on their head, they would disappear literally. This was a PvP breaker. It broke PvP. In PvE, it was beautiful. PvE players never complain about being overpowered. I have never heard a PvE player say, you know what, I feel so strong. Okay, skill up did, but that's because that PvE meta found its way into PvP, and that's where the developers need to look at. If they're making a Division 2, if they're making any other game that's RPG like, separate PvP from PvE. It will make a world of difference. It will really bring even PvE players to come in and PvP and not feel like they have some issue going on. That's why Last Stand is rocking people's socks off, because it's object oriented and it also has gear normalization. Everybody's gear rolls to the max of whatever it is that you bring in there. Okay, so that's pretty much my spill for why I feel like the Art of the Sentry's Call is one of the better marksman rifle DPS gear sets out there. I like it because I have more accuracy. When your accuracy is increased, you can hit more shots, that's for sure. When your accuracy is reduced, then you're going to find it difficult to land more shots, and your DPS is reduced because your DPS is calculated by how much damage you can deal per second. So Sentry's Call actually increases my DPS in the sense that I can land more consecutive shots than I would if I was using my skull gloves, or my skull build, or my striker marksman. I have a striker marksman build that I don't know if I'm going to show anybody, but it's easy to do. You follow the same format, 4 striker, 2 nomad, and all that good stuff. So that's pretty much my overview. I don't want to run the video too long. Thank you guys for listening and watching. If you guys build a Sentry differently, I know there's a shield build with the pistol, but I don't do that because I just want to hit hundreds of thousands. I want to see, you know, I want to see 6 figures when I land a headshot. That's all I want to see. So pretty much leave a comment. If there's any way or any question that you have, leave them. If there are any people that are, you know, veterans at this game, help answer the questions. Don't feel like, you know, you don't want to say anything. It'll be really nice to help out the newbies that are coming into the game. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. Yeah, I better not forget to say that. It's nice to get subscribers, and for those of you who've subscribed, I just wanted to say thank you for 2,400 subscribers and counting. I appreciate you guys so much. I guess I'll talk to you later. Peace.